it's working. Yes. Oh, Ouija woo, it's working. The battle cry of the arts hole. Ouija woo, it's working. I'm going to delete a light in the camera because it's unnecessary. And then, as is traditional with all good people using Blender, I must delete the default cube in order to appease the Blender gods and make sure that there is good blending to be done today. What happens if I do that? Excellent, that. Marvellous. Right, yeah, we might as well utilize the pretzels. I don't necessarily like the pretzels, or at least I went off the pretzels, in fairness. Because I don't know, it's just a bit boring. Oh, I say. There we go. Are you gonna? Nope. I do hate this program. It lets you get so far and then goes, I do have to do an update. It's such a nuisance. Such an ever-loving nuisance. But also, it looks like it's going to have to require a full... Yeah, needs a full login, which is going to be a fucking nuisance. I don't think I can be bothered. Because it will take too much effort to deal with that. Now that was interesting. What was that? I mean, it certainly does slightly flicker there, but I don't think it flickers to anything specific. That's fine enough. Anyway, what was the experiment? I remember what the experiment was. I want a plane, and I want that rotated, popped up there, something along those lines will suffice. A bit bigger, wouldn't go amiss. So the position is now going to need to be changed again, but never mind. Never you mind. A little bit wider as well. Yeah, something like that. This is only really a tester anyway, so any level of actual specifics would want to be rebuilt at some stage. Right. So let's do... Yes, let's do this first. And now you know how you delete the default cube? Well, you then bring one back, because that's the way you do it. And you're not allowed to do it in any other way. You have to bring back the default cube, you know, after deleting the first default cube. It's just the way the system works. Alright, so give or take an approximate shape. We'll try and do a little bit of shaping to it, see if I can get it to... we'll have two of them. Scale Z. So put a gap there, and then maybe a gap there, and then we'll pull that out with an extrusion, and then possibly put a little bit of that there, and grab the edges. And G it in the Y. There we go. It's not it's nothing like the shape I want, but it's fine. It's not a huge problem. I'll do it slightly differently this time around. Instead of doing that, I'll extend that instead. There we go. Absolutely nothing like what I'm after. Should really. If I was doing it absolutely seriously, I would use some kind of reference image, but I'm not really doing it hugely seriously, I must admit. Let's just grab, if I can. Yeah, you should be able to do the whole... No, okay, interesting. Fine, we'll do it the hard way. Theoretically, that should just move everything up. There's every possibility I fluffed up a sort of connecting point in there somewhere. That plane got in the way. Excellent, excellent. That's what we like to see. Planes in the way. There we go. That should again allow me to just sort of tighten that up, and then maybe this bit's nowhere near important, I'd like to point out. As is so often the way with most of the things I do, there are segments where it's like, this isn't important. And yet I will insist on putting a huge array of effort into it in order to make it seem like it's more important than it actually is. Sufficient. Sufficient. As I say, it's not meant to be anything specifically. Have it sort of viewport. Yeah, maybe take the plane up a bit more of a size. Oops. Keep getting my axes the wrong way around, but it don't matter that much. I keep thinking I'm working from that view and therefore X and Y when I'm working from that view, which is in fact X and Z. Grab that, and now we want that sort of there, maybe. Yeah, probably fine. And now this. I don't know. 40? I've got 40 in mind, but I think maybe we want to go higher. More. More. We can go all the way up to 100. That might be deadly, but fuck it. 100. More. 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 Oh, I thought I was stuck at 99 for a moment there, but no. Good. We've got a pretty tight mesh there. Right, so... Oh, actually, this isn't quite the way around. Call it edge pin, that'll do. So I assign you to the edge pin, I assign you to the edge pin, I assign you to the edge pin, and I assign you to the edge pin. Might be easier to do 2 by 2. I don't know. I tell you what, we'll try it like this as well, just for... Doesn't make that much difference, but now just to double check that's worked. Yes, marvellous. Deselect and select that edge group or vertex group, whatever you want to call it. Either way, it is a group I can now select again whenever I need to. And at this point, we're going to play with physics. Playing with physics. Playing with physics. The most important thing is shape and pin group, edge pins. I think we're fine. So let's just see what it does. Oh, I don't know. It's sort of just billowing slightly. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's fabric now. It's fabric. That's fabric. It's struggling. It's struggling to play real time, probably because there's 100 by 100 vertices in there, plus possibly even more than that. I might start using the bake. Yeah, I might need to bake them in and then watch them, but for now it's probably okay. So how many? I'm curious now. How many vertices was it then? 10,404 vertices, which in fairness isn't that many vertices when it comes to actual sort of proper modelling, but still. You are, I think you want to be a rigid body. I think you want to be an active one. Well, I get the impression if I do that, yeah, it's just going to fall on the floor. So maybe I want to be a passive one. That means it won't fall on the floor. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So now what we want to do is basically from that side, maybe. Could be easier. So we'll position it there, and now we'll have that. I mean, it doesn't matter precisely where, but it gets me a keyframe. Does it get me a keyframe? It does get me a keyframe. I thought it got me a keyframe. It just didn't look like it got me a keyframe because my keyframes are off the screen. Now, basically, no. We need to actually go along some keyframes, and then both. We'll punch it through about halfway, maybe. I legitimately have no idea how this is going to respond or how this is going to function. It might just crash on me. But I'll tell you what, we'll save it. Ooh. Yeah, I suppose this folder will do. Cloth. I'm tempted to just call it cloth whacking, which is arguably very much is. It's very much just cloth whacking, but I'll just call it cloth testing. I'll do cloth testing, and now that's saved. We can buy. Oh, well, that didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. That didn't do much at all. Well, that was disappointing. Right. Maybe I do need to tick animated. That might help. No. Okay. At this point, I realise I don't know what I'm doing. Convex hull should be fine. Surface response, that should be fine. Yeah, I don't see anything there that suggests it wouldn't work. Unless maybe I need to add soft body and cloth. Now, what is that? Collision collection, I'm assuming. Let's try that and see what happens, I suppose. Oh, hey. And, oh, interesting. It still completely ignored it, which is concerning. But it is now bouncing, so something has happened. I don't think I do need a soft body, to be honest. I must admit. Oh, I suppose I do it from the top. Get rid of the soft body. That's maybe no. I feel like the cloth is enough. It just doesn't necessarily collisions. Maybe self collisions. No, I don't think we want self collisions. Object collisions, though, that should be the one. And it is. It's arts, or very nearly. I wonder. I'll tell you what. We'll try first. I'm going to try just baking it. Good God Almighty! And yes, that is a duck. And yeah, I didn't get round to turning my speakers down all the way because I got distracted when the internet disconnected, which is an inconvenience. Probably don't really need to do all 250 frames, but I've started them, so I'll just let them go. I don't think it does. This sort of stuff is not going to take too long to deal with. But there is a boop. There's a boop on the screen. What am I going to do? Not a lot. It's not a lot I can do, in fairness. There is a boop on the screen. Nope. Wow. Well, this is troublesome. Which part? Oh, I want to turn the auto key off for starters. But which part of this am I missing the point of? Maybe I do need it to be an active one after all. Well, I'm very much not convinced of that because I think... No, okay. No, I mean, it's not done what I thought it was going to do, which is drop to the floor. Let's just double check. Yeah, that's all. Oh, although I haven't said that. Don't think it would make a difference, but I suppose just in case it does, let's try rotating that 180 degrees so that the normal is actually facing the object I'm pushing into it, and then we'll have to figure the rest out at a later date. But is that the issue? No, I didn't think it was the issue. I just had to make certain. But there is something I'm missing then, which is unfortunate. Oh wait, no. Well, one partial problem with that theory is no. Okay, it's still not doing it. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but you know what I mean. Rigid body, rigid body. I don't. It is fabricy. It is meant to be a fabric. I don't necessarily want it to be a full fabric in the end phase, but the crucial element is figuring out how to get this to interact with the cloth. And I'm not 100% sure at the moment. I thought it was going to be as simple as I've just done it. But no, it is not how you say simple. No, I don't think we want collections and dynamics, maybe, but I'm not convinced. So maybe I do need collision. What is the mouth clippy thing? I mean, it's exactly that. It's a mouth clippy thing. It's just representative of what I would like. Oh, at AE. Hey, what did I do? Oh, I put a collision modifier on it, didn't I? Yeah, okay. So, okay, maybe collision is in fact required. Right, so now I want to sort of fiddle around with this to try and get a slightly, possibly tension. Let's try doubling the tension, see what happens. Shearing, can't remember what it is. Luckily, if you hover over it, you get like a sort of yeah. Sometimes the tooltips don't help as much as you hope they would. I suppose that you might be able to. Lovely, and it is art. It is the art dinosaur or lizard, or I think they're meant to be dinosaurs, aren't they? You may or may not be able to read that. I don't know, but yeah, the shear value. Its description is shear stiffness. My word, that's just some sheer stiffness you've got there. But how much the material resists shearing, which I think is basically the probability of it ripping. I might be wrong. Compression. How much the material resists compression? Fuck you, Blender. Yeah, I mean, fine. I've technically asked for it, so it's fine. We probably don't need to bake all the way, so we'll just bake to 100 frames. But this time we will bake it rather than run it as a live simulation, because, I don't know, it might just show up a bit better. Although, having said that, oh no, yeah, I was going to say it's not doing anything. No, it is. It's baking in the background. I'm baking a cake, and that cake is Blender. And boop. I mean, it's wibbly. It's wibbly wobbly woo. It's wibbly wobbly woo. But it does sort of, whoa there. Yeah, sort of works. Let's have a look. I suppose arguably, let's just have a look. What do we want? I do not know. So let's have a look. I think it's going to be just playing around with the stiffness again. So maybe we want damping stiffness a little bit higher up as well. Did I delete that bake? I did delete that bake, didn't I? Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, pop that tension up, pop that down, because I am... there's a part of me wanting it to shear, maybe? He's looking at a map because he's lost. It kind of looks like him drawing, though. Ah, I see. Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, I can see the map idea with the X marks the spot type thing. But you can understand why he's lost. He's looking at the back of the map. That's his problem. Well, that's your problem. Also lost when it comes to good art, so it seems fitting. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sure that's not true. I don't really know how much bending we want, but I suppose... Oh... I mean, it is technically doing what I want it to do. Just I also want it to be not quite as clothy as it is, which I know... Well, why are you using a cloth simulator if you don't want it to be as clothy? Because I think the cloth will work. I just don't know for certain. I'm making it up, in fairness. I'm just testing theories, testing things today. I think it's messing, just continuing to mess with the tensions. We'll just ramp them up, and then take the shear down to its minimum and pop the compression up and just see what happens each time. Doosh. You get such a lovely ripple. I didn't know you got such a lovely ripple off of that. It's not what I'm after. It's a lovely ripple, isn't it? Such a beautiful ripple. But that is the physics fabric simulator, isn't it? So of course it's a lovely ripple. Let's just keep doubling. Oh, hello. I'm not allowed any more damping tension. I've maximised my damping tension. Boom. Such a good ripple. But I do wonder if maybe, just a maybe, so I have one extra desire to check first. Let's duplicate that. Move it down the bus. Oh dear. Oh no, it's fine. Well, oh no, it's not fine. Hang on. Right, I know what I did wrong. Convert to mesh. Now move it down the bus. Okay, that's not worked as well as I wanted it to. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well, that is the buggy. I think is how you say that. So the theory is not holding water. Which, weirdly enough, if I wanted to do, I could enjoy and explore the lovely fluid simulations as well. But I don't want to do fluid simulations at the moment. What do internal springs do? Fuck it. Let's find out. It's now got internal springs. Ooh, smash. There's one thing. Well, you know what? We'll test. One other thing we shall test. I don't know why, but I want it facing that way. So let's go here. And then basically, yeah, if I just turn that on, we'll punch it right through. That should work. Oh! It did actually punch all the way through. How interesting, and sort of what I wanted, in a not necessarily exactly what I wanted sort of way. I know that makes no sense. How can it be sort of what you wanted, but also not what you wanted? So, bash. Yes. But I've got a nasty feeling it still doesn't actually work the way I want it to work. But let's see. God damn it. God damn it. Still didn't do what I wanted it to do. Maybe the secret is going to be bake the boy. Bake it in the oven at 180 degrees. Bake it in the oven and then you'll have it for tea. Bake it in the oven, you can do it well. Bake it in the oven or you will go to hell. I put my omelette face down and then my turn. That is fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant, the fact that that's lined up so perfectly. God, I'd do that just as a general meal. Anyway, I think my bake is done. Bonk! Right, now then. Oopsie doodles. I've changed a setting there. Yeah, we accidentally pushed that. Bone dink. Yeah, something like that. That's the perfect frame. Now, is it simply a case of I need to perhaps do it on the first plane? Oh, yes, I think it is. Because it's the first plane. Yeah, okay. Shades move, not perfect, but not bad either. Okay. Now if I duplicate that along the X as well, I don't have to duplicate it along the X. I just want them sort of all in a row. And now I'm assuming, yeah, that'll still do stuff over there, but this one is free of it. And if we ditch the cloth, this is now just back to a standard plane. Okay. I mean, you can feel free to have a guess. I don't know if you'd actually fully get it, but I mean, you might be able to grasp the concept, but precise purposes and stuff behind it is oh my god, there's a monster with a fork. Sorry, this is for anybody unaware. I'm now looking in Discord because it was a new message, so I thought I'd have a check of that. But yeah, that is majestic. That there's a Malevorous fork. But still, are they scenery lumps? Oh, interesting. Yeah, you could. You very much could. It's not, but you could. It's an interesting idea for what for doings there. Now, this is the point. Ah, here we go. Okay. So this is the part where I'm not entirely sure. But there you go. So basis. Now we want key number 1. Key number 1 relative to basis. There's also a spoon. Of course there's a spoon and a knife. Now. Yes. It's at this point. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. So what I want to do is somehow get that to do that. Or rather get that to do that. And I don't know how to do that. So I wonder if I can... Is there... Cast. Shift the shape towards a predefined primitive. No, but that's intriguing sounding. Laplacian deform. No, but again, that might actually be an easier way of doing things. Wave. Hello. Warp. Surface deform. No. Smooth Laplacians. Reduce the noise on a mesh. Oh. Interesting. Smooth Laplacian. No, don't appear to have done anything. I imagine if I fucked about with settings, it might do something, but it's fine. It's not specifically what I want. Displace. Nope. None of the things. Unless, it depends. Object. Okay, interesting. Okay, sphere, cylinder, cuboid. I want it to be an actual object. Oh, that's weird. And I don't understand it. That's weird. And I don't understand it. That's weird. And I don't understand it. That's weird. Oh, that's even weirder. Hey. Oh. We do it in the dead butt. Do it in the hip. I don't understand. Now, how does one? One doesn't know. Object constraints. No. Follow path is fun because that is that's how you do spaceships. You make a little path and you make the spaceship follow the path, and it goes wee. Well, you have to add a lot of that. No. Oh, maybe. No. Oh, no. No, that's all. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's all constraints, which is not what I wanted at all. Yeah, I might have to look that up. So let's have a look. Let's have a researchings. See if it is actually a thing, of course. We cannot see for certain. Oh. Okay. This might be what I'm after. Let's just have a look. Oh, that's old. Yes, it is. Might help me still, though. Shift select. Okay, make sure that it's not stored. There's a special menu. 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 Time to fetch lunch. Oh, fair enough. Yes. Yes, okay. Special menu. Shapes. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to have a go. Oh, that's not the way to do. Store the shape key. Okay, so that way to that way. And then join as shapes. So key one I probably don't need, but plane, yes. So yes! Shape keys, baby! Sorry, I'm perhaps a little too excited over that, but animate the property. Animate a property, baby! Animate a property, baby! Put the keyframe in, baby! Put the keyframe in, baby! Doof! Can't actually sort of play properly there because it's too much information for it, but bunk! Bunk! Yes! Oh, that is pleasing. Bunk. Oh, that is very pleasing. Oh, God, I actually theorised something. And granted, a little bit of looking up to find the special menu. Oh, the special menu. It actually worked. Holy shit, moly. Right, so I suppose at this point, let's figure out what we want to do next as part of this. So we sort of got a dunk there. I'm thinking maybe a dunk there, perhaps. I must admit that's kind of in the wrong place, but it's not 100% the point at the moment. The point, although that point one, oh, new theory, new idea. Let's put this. We'll put it there. As I say, not the final piece, so it's fine. I'll give it a save, so I've got the file available to figure things out from. I believe I did just do it. And I suppose arguably probably the easiest way of doing this is going to be bake it again. Physics tab. Bake it. Bake it. Bake it. Bake it. Bake it. Put it in the oven. Put it in the oven. I'll look at my Discord messages while I'm putting it in the oven. Put it in the oven and it will bake a cake. Put it in the oven and it will bake a cake. Shit in a party. Whippings. It's a fish. Fish. Today's special is trout a la creme. Fish. Oh, I remember now. Yes. No, that's my fault. That's my fault. Probably the easiest to do it on the auto key again. Somewhere not quite center because I don't want it looking perfect. Then just delete that key, because otherwise it's going to be awkward. And then basically bonk. Now that's interesting. Interesting. Oh, no, boy. Not a problem. Advice, not a problem. No, not a problem. We can find this. Delete the back. And then go back to there. And then that shouldn't have any information on it. No, good. So that view, probably fine. G to Y. No, that's no. Wrong one. That object.
Hello there.
And then, yeah. Fuck me! A little bit off, but not bad. Not bad at all. There we go. There's a lot of rectangles in your art hole. There is a lot of rectangles in my art hole. And hopefully those rectangles will do what I need them to do. We've currently successfully done one theory. Now we're baking up a new theory, which hopefully will work. It's difficult to know for certain, but it seems to be working so far, which is surprising. So we'll just give this a little bake. I don't really need all 100 frames, truth be told, but still. Oh, that's pretty accurate for mobile lag, of course. And now... bonk! Excellent. It bonked well. Now we just need to choose a frame. Or bonk. Yeah, something like that one. No, maybe that one. Yeah. Sufficient. Right, so what we want to do is duplicate it so that we've got the plane back. Again, I must admit, this one needs to be final test. This one... static 01, sufficient name. This one, fuck knows. Which one's the correct one? I don't know. I'll tell you what, we'll get rid of that one. And then it shouldn't make any real difference. So, let's go. No, because I keep needing to do... No, that's fine. It's fine. Hip do... Big do! Right. Book do... And then, I believe it was about frame 20. Yes, it was. Frame 20 for book do. That was trippy as fuck. That's me playing with cloth simulations. Or this whole thing is me playing with cloth simulations. Right, so plane 02 is basically what I want. Yes. And now that one convert to mesh. And now arguably I need them all to sort of travel down the bus. Travel down the bus now. There we go, excellent. Now so this one is now static 02. And that should be fine. I have not got a bake. I'm not going to bake. I don't have a bake. I suppose because it's a new... It's the new one. Is this for MCP? It is not. It is a differing notion and theory. So I believe I just want to do that. No. What? No. Wait. No. Yes. Dunk. There we go. So what we want to do now... Help. That one. Special joiner shapes. Yes. Right. Okay. Yep. So... Dunk. Give it a moment or two. And then... this one... 5 frames, I think I did. Yeah, 5 frames. Dunk! Oh, they combine! I think I may have just jizzed. Information you didn't need today. But what can I say? Sometimes things go to plan. Dunk! Oh, it's not playing properly. Oh, I suppose in fairness... That's because this has got a cloth simulator doing Arguably, yeah, probably the easiest way of not having it try and do a cloth simulation is just by getting rid of the keys there. Hopefully, well, actually no, tell a lie, just get rid of the second key and then the first key will attach itself. And so, yes, there we go. Dunk! I still can't play at real speed. Cock. I suppose it's still trying to do a fabric, which is not optimal, but still. Dunk! Oh, it actually... Oh, that's interesting. That I didn't know. I suppose it's putting the first shape on top of the second shape, which means the first shape is actually getting pushed out more. I'm not going to fall for your knocking. I'm not going to fall for your knocking. But basically, it's a thing knocking against another thing, which is why there's sort of like a head there. But yeah, basically it is doing exactly what I want it to do, which is quite impressive. Or not quite, I suppose. Let's have a look, see what happens if I... Oh, it's relative to basis. So I wonder if I relative it to... Oh, no. Okay, that's broken it. Interesting. Oh, unless maybe I... No, I do want that. I want that. Oh, no! I mean, I assume you did that. It sounded surprisingly like you hadn't, because I read it and then it said it, but still. Cheese hype indeed. So static, if you work off of plane? No, okay, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Bonk. What actually happens though? Does it just sort of... Oh! It's weird, not what I want. That's fine. So you do want to work off of... No, you want to work off of basis? Yeah, okay. But I'm wondering if this one, if I... No, I mean, technically it is doing what I'm asking it to do. So I can't necessarily deny it. It's not quite the result I want, but it is doing what I'm asking it to do, I think, is the crucial element. Especially because you can see, yeah, what it's doing is it's pushing that one out in relation to that one being pushed out there, which is why you've got that being pushed out extra. But I suppose arguably, if you did smash something in a way that pushed out all of that bit, it would push that bit out as well. Not necessarily. You're so confused. Well, it's not that confusing. It's basically the idea. Let's go into the first view and then go back to the beginning. So if that was... If you could ignore everything else on the screen, it's just this bit here in the centre, then you get... It's going to run slow again because I've got the cloth simulation still on, but I suppose maybe... No... I might be able to... If I pop you down to... Yeah, right, 1 on 1, that's fine. That shouldn't run the cloth simulator, so this might be slightly quicker. But yeah, if you've got that, and then it goes dunk, dunk. Now, as I say, it's not perfect. Oh, but we could shade it smooth? Question mark. Even that's not perfect. But then again, we can, of course, go into edit mode and possibly adjust some of these points. But equally, what we could do is the alternate option. And that's an interesting one as well. That's very interesting. Okay. Huh. That's weird. So I can do one ship gear, but I cannot adjust the other one. Interesting. Very interesting. But still. Anyway, as I say, it's sort of... It's that old classic... Thwonk. Thwonk. Something's trying to get in. Something's trying to get in. Don't let it in, sir. Don't let it in, sir. Something's trying to get in. But then something probably will get in. Get in! Get in! No, you get out. Get out! Goes wrong show again. It's an invisible AT-AT. It could be. Could be an AT-AT in fairness, yeah? It's got that sort of beaky, mouthy thing. But yeah, I'm quite pleased that the concept has worked. And I'm quite pleased I worked out how to use shape keys mostly by myself. The only thing I needed assistance with was the secret menu. But then again, who's not going to need assistance with the secret menu? Oh my lord, you got yourself a secret menu. Now I must admit I should probably focus on one of my other projects. Let's see what else we've got cooking somewhere. Where's the bloody... Where's the photo? I don't know where the photo going. Where's the photo? There's the photo. But I don't know. Would people like to see something specific? There is sort of... I had considered doing like a sort of slight tutorial-y thing if people wanted that. I'm just trying to see if I can find a suitable sort of reference image to do what I was considering doing. We shall see, we shall see, we shall very much see. Could do it being like flat on, but there you go. Doodar. Is it me on the other side of the door separating me from the bar cream soda manufacturing floor? It might be. That may very well be what it is. They're trying to keep you out, but you're trying to get in. They don't want you in the location, but you want to get in. You want to get in. I wonder if there's a better... No, clip art's not going to be that much more pertinent. Animated? Looks actually like it might be quite a flat image. Watch that video about sticking a rig in a model in 2 minutes today. Very straightforward. Absolutely. I usually end up having to re-watch it. I usually have to re-watch it in order to follow it each time. But oh, you couldn't make it work. Okay. Well, there's every possibility that, I don't know, every now and again, I know one of the ones I've watched, they say the wrong thing. So they show the right thing, but then they say the wrong thing. And it's very confusing. But it is sort of... I wonder if that'd work. Let's pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, pop it in. Where? There, that'll do. Yeah, it can pop in the research folder. That'll do. That's it. Right, drop that down, and now let's make sure I've saved that by hitting save, and then we go new, general, and now what you want to do is you want to, well, you don't always want to, and you don't always have to, but it is tradition to make sure you at least delete the default cube. There it is, sacrificed to the Blender gods. What type of model was he putting the rig in? I think I missed a crucial step, because when I moved the rig, the model didn't move with it. Oh, I mean, that sounds like you didn't parent it, but I'm assuming he talked about parenting. Because I mean, very, very quick example. Cylinder. Stretch the cylinder. Put the cylinder there. And then pick up the armature single bond. Where is my single bond? There is my single bond. Edit my single bond. How many single buns do we want inside of this thing? Let us go maybe 4 buns. 4 buns. So we now object mode. There we go. Yes, I believe that's it. Control P. Control P with automatic weights. And now if we select the buns, and we're going to buzz mother, and then theoretically, can you see from my thing to get the buns? That's why you can put the rig on top, but theoretically, oh, that's the wrong axis. That's why. Oh, I tell you what. One thing I have forgotten is there's no geometry in my cylinder, so it's not doing it particularly well. So, bing! More! 30 will probably suffice. Deal once. You know, I'm going to test whether I can remember how to fix, how to do this bit. The wobbly stick into a bone constraint. That's what we want. So now what's it going to be? Coffee rotation. Limit rotation? No, I think we want coffee rotation of the armature. This is where you need to name your bones. Yeah, I should have named my bones. Name your bones. Name your bones. I tell you what, we'll just... This isn't necessarily a traditionally good way of naming bones, but it might make it slightly easier for me to understand where my bones are. Yeah. So bone base, bone 2, bone 3, bone 4. That's cool. So what I want you to do is constrain to bone... You are bone 4, so I want you constraining to bone 3. And then you... I think I want you constraining to bone 2. Yes. And then when I do this... The 2 on the top should do nothing. Also, somewhere along the line, I've lost the parent. So let's just do the parent again. There we go. And now let's try and figure out if I can figure out why my my constraints didn't work. No, I don't think I can. Oh, unless maybe... Yeah, no, that is... No, that's not. But I suppose let's just try. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if maybe I need it like that. I probably need to do that. So this is bone 2. New. Very annoying. Darn it. There is a way, because this is basically how you do fingers. But I just can't quite remember. I mean, I could copy transforms, but I'm not convinced that's the one. Clamp 2. No, I'm not convinced. No, not convinced of that either. No, it's got to be. It's got to be copy rotation. It's got to be copy rotation. Ah, that might be the one, maybe. Armature. We'll just do bone 3 for now. But I'm just wondering... Oh, it's one of these. I can't remember what it is, though. I think it might be local space. I mean, it's definitely done something. Okay. local space. Maybe just both local space. See what happens now. Hey, yes! Yes! Exactly what we'd want. Marvellous. Copy rotation. Armature. Bone to 2. 2 bone. Bone 2. Local space. Local space. And now, when we bendy, 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 bendy. Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm Bendy Man. I am the man bender. I didn't know that was going to sound quite so rude when I thought of it in my brain, but still. Woohoo! Yeah! I suppose arguably that's just I don't know if it's dicks. It's not dicks. Arguably I don't necessarily think this is going to work all that well, but we'll have a go anyway. This is going to be awkward. Kind of want it to be those. So if we then go E for the extrusion, but then ignore the extrusion and then just scale it on the x-axis. Yes, there we go. That should drag that out of there. And then that's not necessarily such a terrible thing. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. I suppose we are working on the y-axis, so will that work to get me what I want? No, of course it won't. I'm going to try every single fucking axis just to double check whether it's my stupidity or the machines. It's the machines, that's fine. We can figure this out and just... It doesn't have to be perfect, so... It's not... Oops. That may not be... I had a nasty feeling because I'm using the bloody X-ray mode. So we want to re-grab those and those. And then extrude on the Z, which is what it is. And then, there we go. Now, this isn't going to work. Fun fact, I already know this is not going to work, so... But, hey, look, this is what happens when it doesn't work. Let's turn the X-ray off for now. Oh, it fucking worked! Okay, well, colour me unexpected. Whatever the colour of unexpected is. But I genuinely didn't think that was going to work. But I suppose it's... No, I don't know why it worked. I absolutely should not have worked. But... Whee! Also, I tried it on an STL I bought in and see the problem with that now. Yes. That is always going to be a bit of an issue. Whee! Whoops, the doodles. He painted the rig in and off it went. Ah, interesting. I don't know what painting would be, but yeah. Wah! I am the tubeman. I am the tubeman. I am the tubeman. Other fun fact. This is not what I was intending to do, but fuck it. Let's go invisible again so I can pick a bone. We'll pick that mid bone. Bendy bones! Bendy, bendy, bendy bones. Bendy, bendy, bendy bones. We'll have, like, I don't know, four for bending. I must admit, I don't know. Oh, I suppose I need that one to be displayed as B bones. Viewport display instead of octahedral. If we go B bones now you can sort of see the B bones a little bit more, and theoretically, yeah, the B bone sort of just it bends a little bit more than traditional bones. So we could do bendy bone here as well. Let's do like 10 segments of bendy bone for that one, and then 20 segments of bendy bone for that one, just to really see what they're doing. Because theoretically, it's pretty much the same, but you can see you get a little bit more, rather than the solid bone rotation, you get it flex. I'm pointing at the screen, I do realise that's entirely pointless, but I can't really get the mouse close enough, although there you go, that'll do it. You just get that little sort of flex rather than a true sort of whee. whoop, a wee, a whoop, a wee. And this isn't particularly important, but this is how you animate things. So I'll tell you what, other interesting thing, if you do a pose you really don't like and you want to go back to the original, you go up to pose up here, which I know is difficult to see under the overlay, but still, it says pose, and it's in that direction. It should be easy enough to see. But you can go clear transform, and then clear all transforms, and it literally clears all transforms. It's not that difficult to understand what clear transforms means. The main reason I say that is just because I don't want to be overly patronising. It is as simple as it sounds. The only slight issue here... Hey, no, that's going to work out. Excellent. But yeah, I won't necessarily explain everything about animation because it's not hugely required. But what we can also do is sort of flex him back a bit there. And then flex him, yeah, forward. There we go, forward a bit there. And then technically, yeah, I mean technically I could, but I don't necessarily want to bother with that sort of idea. So just, oh, there we go, they are being selected. Yeah, there we go, that'll do it. Easiest way of getting the loop, copy and paste, unless you really, really want an absolutely perfect loop, in which case you can ask the system to do it for you, but sometimes it's about what's easiest. But we'll get rid of that, and in fact we'll hide the armature, and we'll go into a slightly 3D view, and then, whoa! Wee! Whoa! Wee! Whoa! Yeah, I still don't quite know about painting bones in. I know you can weight paint, but I don't think that would have come up in the tutorials I suggested, but I don't know for certain. Oh, yeah, I did. Oddly enough, I did the other day. And you can see, I'll tell you what, we'll bring about a new, oh, no, I don't want to be in pose mode. Let's be in object mode. Let's bring about a new sort of object. Cylinder might be the easiest thing to see it in. I still don't know fully what it's doing as such, but I did at least comprehend its name, I think. Because if you press R once, again, I know, difficult to see. It's this one's fully difficult to see because it's right under the overlay. So I suppose actually, let's easiest thing, I'll get rid of the overlay. Top left-hand corner. Now again, I can't really point this out. Actually, no, there we go. The cursor will sort of head in that direction. You can see where it says, it highlights that it's a rotation. And then a second R, this is called trackball, which I think basically just frees you to do whatever you want. Yeah, because there's no constraining axes as well. So it is if you want an absolute... it might be useful for tablets, maybe? Don't know. But yeah, essentially, I can now rotate it in any direction I want. It no longer has any constraints whatsoever. Whereas a standard rotation isn't quite like that, although if it's not constrained to an axis, it will sort of rotate based on the view, which is why almost always you want to sort of constrain it to some kind of axis, I would think. You can't really see it rotating there, because obviously it's rotating around itself in a perfect circle, but yeah. The trackball is a lot freer. But if you do need to move slowly, one thing to note is you can hold shift. Well, actually, shift is constraining it on this one. Oh, no, not quite. Shift will slow it down, essentially. So if I move, I can move it quite quickly there, or holding shift quite slow. It allows sort of fine detail. So, like here, I want to move it down exactly 0.5. Oh, no. Exactly exactly 0.5. Exactly 0.5. But shift, you can go and get it close to 0.5. Granted, if you want to actually shift it down exactly 0.5, you just hit minus 0.5 on the keyboard and then press enter. That's it. Easier with double R, yeah? That's true. That's true. There are sort of, I mean, the reason it's in there is there's going to be exceptions to the rule. Or the rule I've put down right now, that's not really a rule, is it? Let's be honest. But nonetheless, there's almost always sort of reasons why it's in the machine. Anyway, let's get rid of Wibbly Man. Wibbly Man! Also, let's get rid of that stuff there. But, yes, what I was going to do was a quick thing. So, if you Shift A, you get this Add menu up. If you jerk the mouse around too much, it will go away. And then what you can do is bring in a reference. It opens up the File Explorer. Obviously, you can't see my File Explorer because, well, I don't particularly want you to. It doesn't make that much difference, but it doesn't come up automatically as a window. But nonetheless, you just navigate your folders as you see fit and then find the image you want. There's also a little option that says Align to View. I usually tick that off because often I am not in a view I want to be in. And basically, it will then just load it in the bottom there. And then what you can do is RX9, no, not 921, 90 please. And then 1 to go into the front view. And we'll just sort of pop that approximately there. If you push the full stop on the number pad, I don't think it works. No, it doesn't work. That's something completely different. I don't even know what that is. Interesting. What am I doing here? Some kind of median point? I think it might be moving in some fashion. Anyway. Oh, pivot point. Oh, interesting. Oh, all right. Oh. Interesting. So I could change the pivot point to the 3D cursor? No, I couldn't. Or at least it didn't do it. Oh. Unless, no, it might have done it. Oh, yeah, no, that's done that. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. I don't want that. Help me, undo button. You're my only hope. We'll get back to the move there. And now theoretically, excellent, there we go. I'll put the overlay back on while I'm fiddling around with this because there's nothing that spectacular. Whoops, see doodles. That's not the button I wanted. There we go. Yes. Oh, the delete button, you're fine. Hit the X key. Just X on the general keyboard is how you can do that. You can also right click and delete, I suppose. I imagine that might be how you've worked it so far. But yeah, X key, you can delete. In fact, weirdly, if I delete that with my delete key, I get a little error come up. Yeah, it's true. I don't like it. Whereas if I use the X key, no error. So Blender actually prefers the X key than than anything else, really. Right. So at this point, let's try and figure out. Let's figure out the baby. Yes. So, man with oil barrel. Good enough. That's a big barrel there you've got there. And, well, that one's a big man. That looks a bit more sort of viable. Well, it does still leave a certain amount of interpretation. But I think it's about the size I thought it was, which is about half a regular man. So, if we call it 20 mil. If I was doing this for MCP, which I'm sort of doing this for MCP. So we'll call that a 20. Which, I'll tell you what, one thing I will say. This is one of the mistakes I always make. So that's not what I was after. It's depth. Depth is what I'm after. That is 20 mil. Okay. So my point is not 100% being proven. But anyway, say I knew the radius was... Now, admittedly, this is meters. I won't go into precisely why that doesn't matter. But Blender does things how Blender likes to do things. But say if our diameter is 10, one of the things I always do is make that mistake. I almost always go... I measure the diameter of things that I'm trying to replicate, and then realise that Blender is doing radiuses. One interesting thing, if it's an awkward number, obviously 10 is not an awkward number. You just divide it by 2 and you get 5. But if it was an awkward number, if you put slash, I don't think it will work with the meter symbol. Well, I suppose arguably. Do you know what? Let's try it with the meter symbol, see if it does. If you put /2, it will slash it in 2. It will divide it. If you do *2, it will times it by 2. If you do -2, it will -2. Basically, I'm saying that these little things here have mathematics installed into them. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to go with 10 for now, but we're going to check based on our reference image in a moment or two, because what we need to do is try and figure out that's the correct sort of height that we're after, which means basically we want to do that, and then yes, that, and then yeah, we want to do that there, that there. Do you know what? Weirdly, I think I do want it. So active element. Okay, interesting. So yeah, if I do the pivot point at the 3D cursor, that's going to work out slightly better for me. So you know, I've just learnt something as well, which is if you push the full stop. So oh yeah, I was gonna explain the number pad one as well. So full stop allows you to change the pivot point there. I think now we want it back to active element, so that's fine. But if this is what I was referencing when you lost something the other day. So say if something's really tiny and you go, I can't see it, I can't see it. Why can't I see it? Or where is it? Or something that's massive and you can't see it. If you select the element just by the standard sort of selection there up in the side, and then push the full stop on the number pad, it will zoom to the object and basically lock your camera as well to being around that object. Sometimes very useful. I find it supremely useful. I did want to maintain that. This is another one that is I can't remember how did you do. Yeah, I can't remember the shortcut. The way I'm changing viewports is the number key on the number keypad. There is another way. I might accidentally push the button at some point, and I'll suddenly realise, because I do that frequently. But this one's quite a good one. I've got the Z height that I want, and I think I've mentioned this one before, but Shift Z, I've now constrained the height of the item, but it is still doing both X and Y, which means I'm still maintaining a cylindrical shape, or at least theoretically anyway. About there. Yeah, there you go. I am still maintaining a cylindrical shape. You can see it better if I did it from the top view. You can see there. So if I locked the X, I'm only doing it along the X. If I'm locked the Z, I'm only doing it along the Z. You can't see it because it's Z, Y there. If you want it on the Y and the X, you want to Shift Z, which basically sort of says no to Z, but yes to the other two. Is how I tend to remember it. But right, at this point, let's. I mean, basically at this point, we want to add some geometry because at the moment we've got a plane on top. Granted, probably too many planes around the centre, or an unnecessary volume of planes, shall we say. It will make it smoother like this, but usually I smooth it afterwards, but that's not going to be necessary in fairness. So, Control R adds this edge loop, and then I can drag that edge loop to where. Now this is where having a reference image helps you greatly. Some reference images more than others. This one really does assist, although I am going to make it slightly chunkier in every area because I'm hoping to just make that as an allowance for it being a miniature. So I'm going to eyeball it as well. I'm not going to do anything too sort of technical. I suppose another little option, again, I suppose arguably I should take the overlay off. A lot of options are in this viewport overlays thing, but you can go edge length, and then you will find how long an edge is. So that's 1.47, that's 1.49. Not a terrible way of, not terrible, but if I was that fussed about it being absolutely spot on, which I suppose I could be right now, but GG to slide it down. It is unfortunately very difficult to see sometimes. We want that. Also, I can't quite get the number I'm after. Possibly because I started too close to the item. 1.3, 1.5, 1.6. No, okay. Oh, maybe I am just doing it wrong. No, that's constraining. That should have slowed it down to the point where I could actually. No, it don't like it. It don't like it, so I don't care. It's a good enough reason. I couldn't get it to sort of not just do a couple of meters. Might be a case of I could faff around, but to be honest, eyeballing it, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be an issue. Or at least I don't think it'll be an issue. And if I don't think it's going to be an issue, I'm going to make sure it's not an issue. There we go. Superb. So we've now got basically lines where our geometry is. Another keyboard shortcut I can tell you about if you're doing modelling. Obviously, if you're not really doing the modelling stuff, it doesn't make too much difference. But if you want to select vertices, you hit 1, and that's your sort of above the keyboard's 1. So regular numbers, I don't know what they're considered to be called, but on above your QWERTY bits, essentially. Regular 1 is vertex, so that selects the little dots. If you hit 2, you get edges. If you select multiple edges, you will get the faces selected, but you can select single edges. Not sure why they're a strange colour, possibly. Am I selecting the one from behind because I'm in X-ray mode? And then if you hit 3, you get planes, and you can, or faces, and you can select the faces. Alternate way of doing it is just these 3 buttons here. Vertices, edges, planes, 1, 2, 3. What I want to do is select the planes. If you want to select a ring of planes, this should work, but it might not. Alt-click, and now standard sort of shift and alt-click, shift and alt-click, shift and alt-click, and you get yourself that. And now what you want to do for something like this barrel, what I want to do is I want to hit E, which is extrusion. Now, at the moment, the extrusion is either doing it along the Z, you could do it along the X, you could do it along the Y. All in all, that's not what you want. So what you want to do is just right-click, and now you've basically laid those planes. The new faces are on top of the old faces. And what you want to do is go scale, then shift Z, and then you scale them out. That's not worked. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Try Alt-S. Shut up. There we go. Alt-S is a slightly alternate way of scaling and sometimes works better. Don't ask me why and when. I don't know. If that wasn't obvious. Okay, again, sticking to my sort of plan of making it slightly more, slightly chunkier than it is, we'll sort of come out to there with them, perhaps. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, something like that will do. So we've got the basic shape of our barrel now. What I'm thinking I will do is probably, again, this is just Control R to add a doodah, edge loop. Its official name is Loop Cut and Slide, because what you can do is you choose where to put it. So if I hover there, you'll get a vertical one. If I hover there, you'll get a horizontal one. Horizontal is what I want on this occasion. And what you can also do is, if you're doing sort of different things, you might want them up, down, there. Again, you can sort of go 0.5 if you want it in a specific location. There's a couple of other options as well, but it's not hugely important. If you just right-click, basically right-click gets you out of most things, because it just goes done. And then here we want to sort of go like that. Now, I must admit, those central ones are a bit too thick, I think. So I'm going to grab these two. In fact, what I'm going to also do, there we go. If you put in a geometry you don't like, you can press X. You can push X and you get options here. I think the best one for this situation is probably dissolve edges. Just double check that's done it. Yeah. The different... There we go. Dissolve the edges again, yeah. Different things are better used for different periods of time. And it's a little bit situational as to what you want to get rid of. If you're trying to make like a hole in something, you want to delete the faces. If you are trying to... Oh, interesting. Not what I wanted, but interesting. Just standard constrain. And again, I'm going to do this by eyeball rather than... well, I say eyeball. I'm actually using my fingers on the screen to do the shoddiest of measurements known to man, which is just... It's between this nail and this nail. That'll do. It's close enough, isn't it? I often do this because currently I don't need precision. So it's just sort of... That's it. Figuring it out, there we go. But remember, if I sat next to you and you went, right, what you want to do is you link to this file at the beginning here, and then you want to put in this variable, and then you want to put an if sentiment in here, and then if you link that if sentiment with the x equals do programming, I would look at you and go, that is wizardry as well. So it goes both ways, I assure you. Right, so basically what I'm trying to do here, whether it work or not, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. Much like where I did the extrusion, I just want to try and round off the edges, so I'm going to use that Alt-S again and just extend it out just a little bit. I can't deny all of this might be a little bit too fat. We'll see. Again, I think going for the idea that it's going to be a miniature, I think that level of fatness might work and might be easier on a printer. I think it is the crucial detail I'm thinking of. Now, at this point, let's try and... I don't necessarily need to worry about the bottom, but I do worry about the top slightly. So I'm just wondering what we want to do about the top. I suppose let's have a look. And again, this is where sort of looking at reference images and stuff, I mean, that's like standard art work in general, isn't it, really? Look at reference images. So I'm thinking... Well, that's a very different type of drum there, but still. Yeah, either way, they do sort of just have a little bit of a dip into the top. Now, do I want to use the line that's already there? I don't think I do. I think it's... Well, I haven't said that. Yeah, okay. Let's just think about this. Yeah, no, I think I do want to use the geometry that's already there. A, it's easier, and B, it's correct, I think. So here we just want to sort of extrude in slightly. So, yeah, I don't know precisely how long. 1. I mean, in fairness, 1 is 1 millimeter in this situation, -1. If you, again, where I'm... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, that's it. So here, I'm just sort of extruding wherever the fuck I want. Oh, that's... No, No. Yes. Oh, I think I might be sticking geometry on top of other geometry there. Or am I? So there's one way of finding out. Well, I say there's one way of finding out. Might be quite difficult to find out. Let's grab one of you. Go into you. No? No, that actually looks fine. So we're probably okay. But that's also not where I wanted that extrusion to end up. So, prep dinner. Can you put some after shots in? I probably can, yeah. I must admit, seeing that, I should probably save it. Disk tube. That's another thing. Always save your work. I think most people know that. It's just sometimes difficult. Sometimes difficult to remember these things. Let's do another folder with scenery bits in. Oil drum. Call it 01 just in case I make an alternate one. Anyway, so yeah, we want to extrude. Now here, I want it. I'm basically thinking to myself, I want it to be 1 millimeter. In Blender, it's going to be 1 meter, but we'll just stick with the idea of 1. Is the key thing. The unit is 1. So I might push 1. So because I know I want it to be 1. Oh, that's the wrong direction. I just hit the minus key. And then enter, and it's done what I want it to do. Now here, I don't know. So if I did that in a sort of smallish way. 5, 6. No, that's 56. You can use the backspace button to delete numbers you've typed in as well. 8 might suffice. Now, this is the bit where I'm not entirely sure. Oh, well, not what I wanted, but interesting enough as well. Yeah. Oh, no, that's pretty much doing what I wanted it to do. I think actually I just want to sort of lock it in the Y direction, because all I'm really doing is the sort of top bit, which is, yeah, basically pretty much there. I wasn't sure if the geometry was going to allow this quite so sort of easily. It did. It's just compensated for what I'm trying to do. And then we just want to sort of extrude that. And then, I don't know, just to try and make it look a bit fancy, we'll do some more extrusions and insets. Something like that. And then maybe an extrusion and a scale in. Maybe just take that up a bit more, because otherwise it's not going to... Again, might be a bit overly sort of convoluted for a miniature, but may also end up looking not terrible. So yeah, I think that's basically our roll drum, essentially. Not a lot else that sort of leaps out at me. The only thing I am wondering is, because at the moment it's a little bit blocky, it could be worthwhile. And if I drop on... basically, most people call it a sub-surf, I think, or at least where I was taught stuff by, I think, Blender Guru, he calls it sub-surf, so I just call it sub-surf now, but it's subdivision surface, and it will basically subdivide the surface, basically making it look a little bit smoother. Now, if there are sort of key areas you feel like you don't want to have as smooth as they are, what you can do is, with that edge loop tool, you put in what's called supporting geometry. Basically, you make a edge loop near where you want it to be sort of slightly more rigid. And that's it. Oh, blimey, yeah. God, I can't remember. I can't remember what that was supposed to mean now. Oh, I think it's "you're already lurking." Nani? But yeah, well, I'll be watching a replay. That's fair. Speak soon indeed. I will continue putting in my edge loops to tighten my geometry. Oh, kinky. But yeah, I think I've managed to actually put in my edge loops to tighten my geometry. So with this one's going to be interesting. No, I think it's going to be fine. But I might want it even. Now, even at the moment is currently evening to this internal bit. What I want it to be doing is evening it to the external bit. So I want to push E to even it, even on, and then I want to flip it, and now it's evening it to that external area. So we want to do that. I'm basically looking for about minus 0.9 in the top corner there. Not hugely important, but it does tend to... 0.9 tends to be a nice tight corner, and therefore works well with it. Now, do we want to do... I mean, have a look and see, I suppose. Yeah. 0.8 that time, but again, it's a little bit more sort of what it looks like, essentially. A lot of this is visual based. You're just sort of looking and seeing, and this is very much a final act as well, by the way. One of the key things I often struggle with this sort of 3D modelling is keeping your geometry as low as possible. That is the ultimate goal with any geometry, is you want to keep it as low poly as possible. Now this one is reasonably high poly, but not so much that it makes too much difference. So this one, I think what we want to do is even it around this one, really. Yeah, that's it. That'll work nicely. And then the rest is, yeah. We come out of edit mode, and we've got a slightly plump, but again, I think it would work for a miniature scale, little oil drum. And if this is why you want to keep your geometry fairly, you know, not the way I've done it, but if you really wanted to, and you felt strongly that actually it's a bit too plump, you could. This is where you want to keep your geometry as low as possible, because if I hadn't put in that supporting geometry, I wouldn't have had to select that supporting geometry, and therefore I wouldn't have had to worry. But we can sort of... is that working the way I want it to? Not especially. No, I think it is. I think it is. But yeah, so it was like that. If we felt that was a bit too sort of plump, we could do that, and then if we want it back to sort of... Oh, what did that do? I don't know. Oh, I dropped it into X-ray mode. How the fuck did I manage that? I don't know. Oh, I know. I think it was... Yeah, I pushed one of the buttons too soon. No, that's interesting. That's clearly not... Are we rocking no active elements? So that should be doing what I think it should be doing. Huh, weird. Oh well. But, yeah. I have managed to adjust it slightly. I don't know if that's now weirdly shaped, but... No. No, I'm pretty certain we're okay. Although, having said that, I think there is some weird shaping there. I think I might have fluffed something there. Not what I had in mind, but there you go. Let's have a look at the X-ray and investigate this area. Yes, I have fluffed something. Yes, I have. Although, weirdly... Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. Even more interesting, actually, because why is that... No, that is a thing. Huh. I'll tell you what. When you do fluff it like that, you can just undo and take it back to fat can. And sometimes when you think, I'm okay with fat can. I'm okay with fat can. But yeah, it's a bit lazy if I do want to change things, but it might be easier. This bit's not the lazy bit, it's the undoing it and going, I'm probably fine with this. That's the lazy bit. But yeah, let's just see what happens with a regular scale. It's definitely... quite new. Well, it seems to be scaling it off slightly because it's set to global. Maybe it's because I've got... No, I feel like it is the active element is the one it was last time, I think, or what it began with. But maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh well. We'll use the Alt-S because that tends to get the job done, although not quite the way I want it to be doing it, because it's not doing it inside. Okay. Or am I just being strange and it is working and it just doesn't look like it's working? No, it's definitely not. It's definitely off slightly. Well, that's because no, that is not what I want then. Maybe I do want median. But that would explain why it's doing weird things. Well, there we go. Yeah, that's now done it a little bit more central. So where do we start with? And then yeah, we just bring them in, bring them all in a little bit. There we go. So one suggestion I would have: maybe don't futz around with the pivot point, especially if you can't find the pivot point you want to have. But I must admit, the median point seems to be working better now. I think active element, let's see what its suggestion is. Around active object. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure it's, again, it's one of those ones where it's in there for a reason. I'm sure it's quite useful somewhere along the line, but not currently for what I'm up to. Can't deny the lid's possibly a little bit too indented, but again, I think for the sake of a miniature, having that extra indentation will perhaps prove useful. But yeah, there we go. I now have a little oil drum. A wee little oil drum. And now what you can do is you can file, export that to an STL. You can't see the STL export folder, but what you want to do is drop it to selection only is the crucial thing. If you've worked in meters, you can leave it at scale 1. If you've worked in millimeters, I believe you have to op it 1000. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's right. But once you have it as an STL, you can print it as standard. Obviously, at this point, you can Shift D and constrain to X will duplicate it firstly, and then constrain it to the X-axis. So I can have a second barrel. So if you wanted to sort of form some kind of barrel scene, you don't have to worry too much about them intersecting with 3D printing. I don't think, as far as I've seen, it doesn't make too much difference. I mean, visually it's probably better if they're not fully intersecting, but in terms of sort of printing them as a stack like this, you would probably want them intersecting in at least a little bit. On the Y, and front view, we'll pop that sort of there, and duplicate it along the X. It's not really hugely necessary for the top one, so maybe just move the top one so that it is actually sort of touching all of them. There you go. And then at this point you could select them all, and again, if you were rendering them out, if you wanted to STL them all together, you would still ideally want to go selection only, because then you won't get any oddities from the idea of this reference image. If you've left the camera, you won't get anything odd there. If you've made like you know, on some occasions, I will go ahead and go, right, what size do I want these things to be? I want them to be about 20 mil. And then I will use this little cube to go, okay, are they about 20 mil? Yes, they are. Let's pop that over there. And then if you push M, you can move to a collection. And I'm going to call this measuring cubes, which I have in the past. It's a janky way of doing things, but it sometimes works. And then what you can do is you can hide that measuring cube. And then anything you put in this collection will be hidden automatically. But if you don't then, you know, select those and selection only export, you will get the cube as well. Because even though it's not visible, it will still be counted as part of the file, and it will still count as part of the STL, essentially. But yeah, that's our little old drum. Very flat on the bottom. I could possibly extrude the bottom as well, but necessary? No. So there's one other thing, if you wanted to... in terms of viewports, if you push... So 1 is front view, 3 is right view, 7 is top view. They're the main ones I use. Oh, 9 is bottom. Interesting. Did not know that. That's user perspective. That's another... Oh, that's sort of rotating the camera. Oh, and that's rotating the camera as well. This is 2, 4, 6, 8. The arrows upon those on your number pad, you can sort of rotate. That, I think, is orthographic to perspective, which is 5. So you change from orthographic to perspective mode. I must admit, I did not... Oh, no. Interesting. 9 is like a... Oh, 9, I think, is just flipping. Oh, interesting. Huh. Again, you learn something new by pushing buttons. I don't know what 0 does. Nothing, apparently. But anyway, so the other option for flipping the view, obviously, is now I found 9 is an option. But the option I tend to use is if, say, instead of the front, you want the back, you control 1. And it goes to the back. If you want the left instead of the right, control 3. And you get the left. If you want the bottom instead of the top, control 7, you get the bottom. But that's... yeah, the one other thing I was going to do was in here... text. It's what I knew it was there somewhere, just couldn't see it for the life of me. Pretty much that's all you want to do. And then font. You may find an official font. I find... What do I find? I can't remember the bloody name of the fucker now. Arena. Sorry, not that button. Arena, that's the one. Arena Black. It's a nice chunky bold font. If you need to change your text, you just push tab or go up to edit mode, and that's how you get text to be able to be edited. It's not sort of that unusual, I don't think. Now, with this, we definitely want to scale it up. Move it sort of roughly to the centre. Again, it doesn't matter too much. Oh, I must admit, I don't want a 2 either. I'm so used to doing cars. I want 1. This is basically, this is exclusively for MCP, essentially. Now, I suppose arguably if you lift it that way, you know that's backwards, yeah. That's what I thought. Or at least roughly what I thought. Rotate. Z 180. Sufficient. I'll just move it back in there. But is that's not how you do a 1, is it? No. Rotate Y 180. That's it. That's a 1. I know. How thick can you get? Do you not even know what a 1 looks like? Apparently, I do not even know what a 1 looks like. I can move that sort of slightly more up to the barrel. Yeah, something like that I'll do. Well, no, let's have it slightly there. It doesn't matter that much, truth be told. Then to thicken it up, you want geometry. And then I believe it is yes, the computer was working. I think, yeah, there we go. It is just extrusion. That will thicken it up. Probably don't need it quite that thick. And then you can adjust the size from there, and I think probably about halfway to what it is. And then at this point, sometimes worthwhile duplicating that. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Then I'm going to have a new collection, which is just archive. That's basically old things you don't need but might want to have back again, which is useful for if you do something like this, which is I'm going to convert that text object to a mesh object, which means I can no longer have the functionality of text, because now, as you can see, it is a piece of geometry, not a piece of text. And again, let's just duplicate that barrel, pop it in the archive. I've turned the archive off, so the archive again is going to be invisible. And now what we'll do is we will... Yes. I suppose I've just copied it as an archive, haven't I? So I could just drop that on it. Plus I've got a load of other copied barrels as well, so not a huge issue. Grab that. Fast is enough, I think, usually. You won't see anything at the moment. What you have to do is turn off the text. And there we go. It looked a bit odd, but that's just camera perspective. But now we can sort of apply the Boolean as well. And now, if, say, you were playing MCP and someone threw a barrel, you'd have the official, well, unofficial, because obviously I've used Arena Black. It might be a different font. It might be one of their sort of, they've used Agency, I think, in the past. But nonetheless, it's a bold declaration that this is a size 1 object. And so if it was thrown, you would know it was size 1 because it's got a little indent in it. I must admit, my indents are probably a little bit more extreme than theirs. But, you know, it's one of those ones where it helps with the printing, I think, because they have a different system of printing, of course, with the official MCP stuff. With a 3D printer, you want to sort of give it as best chance as possible, essentially, is what I look at it as. Anyway, I've saved that, and we'll save that as I am Barrel Prime. That's the other thing I must try and remember how to do. Let's see if I don't. It's not going to be Shift D. At least I don't think it is. Oh, interesting. Linked. I wonder if that is all I need to do. So, quick test. Oh, there we go, yeah. So if, say, you wanted to try and sort of build a stack of barrels like this, if you Shift D and make sure, as we just saw, I want to not move it along the Z-axis, really. One of my barrels is dipped, it's fine. But, yeah, if you mark it as linked, I feel like there's probably a shortcut for doing that, but I don't know what it is. I wonder if I Control D? No. Alt D? Alt D, okay, interesting. Alt D has definitely done something. Whether Alt D is what I think. Yes, I think it is. Because if I shift it... Oh, no, 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 that's not what we want. If I shift D again... That goes back to unlinked. Hey, there we go. So Alt D... Where's Donkey Kong? Yes. He would rather enjoy this level of barrels. But Alt D produces a linked duplicate. Shift D produces a general duplicate. So if, say, you felt you wanted to potentially adjust things, so if we go here, and I'm just going to grab all of that. If you look at where I've Shift D'd, say, that one, and that one, and I've Alt D'd, obviously, this one, this one, and this one, because you can see the dancing dups are... But anyway, that's the difference between linking and unlinking. I knew you could do it, I just wasn't sure of the shortcut, but there's a logic to Blender. There's a logic to Blender. But yeah, so any adjustments you made to Barrel Prime would be made to any linked slave barrels. We'll just delete those in a general sense. And yeah, there we go. A lovely sort of... Obviously only one at the moment has the 1 on it, but again, I would possibly consider just printing individual barrels and building your own stack of barrels after you've printed the barrels. But stacking them in Blender is an option as well. It depends on what you're after. But I can't deny I just don't like. As I say, in order to really get that connected as a 3D print, you do need to sort of slightly intersect it, and it's never going to look quite as good as if you just dropped a bit of glue on the bottom of that barrel and glued it to the top of those barrels. So I think, as I say, all in all, you'd be better off just printing a sort of a group of tiny barrels and building your own little stacks as and when you wanted to, which is quite good. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. But yeah, that's barrels. And, barrels with a 1 on to do Marvel Crisis Protocol. And what of co-linking? I don't know what co-linking is, but if it's something to do with Yu-Gi-Oh, I hate it. Because I hate link monsters. I suppose it is co-linking the arrows that are pointing to things. But, I don't know. Oh, God, very frustrating game. Very frustrating game. You can't summon that many monsters, you bastard. And then it's like, no, I can. And I'm like, no, I fucking can't. I'll just type a message. There we go. Right, I think I'll probably leave it there because I do need to sort of make sure I have some dinner of my own so that I'm ready and raring to go. So yeah, we didn't do too badly. I managed to do experiments with thunk 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 against cloth, which is quite good. Played with bones, which is always fun. It's always fun playing with my bone. A link is when the arrow points at a monster, and co-linking is when two link monsters have arrows pointing at each other. Oh, yeah, I think I know. I mean, certainly now you've explained it, I know what you mean. I have seen that, and I have seen reference to it, I think. So, yeah, we did some playing with bones, and then we built a barrel. So, all in all, not a terrible amount of stuff done. A couple of hours worth of blending. And that weren't too bad. And I've forgotten to drink all my drink. Which is what happens when I get too into doing blending stuff. Anyway, so yes, I believe... I don't really think there's any specific individual on in the not too distant future. So I'll tell you what, we'll just have a sort of a scattergun... Whoops. A scattergun of individuals that are worth... Please, brain, will you please? There we go. A scattergun of individuals worth viewing and enjoying. There is Mr. Mellow Miniatures.
Oh, Northern boys love gravy.
He does. He does love gravy. He paints with gravy. And there's a Mr. Albion Craft. Both of those are obviously Mellow Miniatures, fairly obvious miniatures.
Minutes, but it's can't sleep. You know, the drama queen, the diva. Turns out when he wants, probably be about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. Right, but cheerio. It's been lovely.
Both of those sort of Mellow Miniatures, painting mostly. Albion, sort of construction and painting. Can't sleep, mostly miniature painting, but every now and again, a couple of odds and sods elsewhere.
What colour am I going? My little girl does my makeup all the time. So, yeah, it smells like food. What? What do you mean open my eye? I'm not letting you paint my eye. You should do the eyelids, you're not painting my eyeballs. That's a bit too far. Did you just whistle? You just laughed like Muttley. I can't see the chat. What? Like, I appreciate the raid and the subs, like, but I regret my life decisions. Oh, fine. How do I can't see how I look. What? No, you're not doing both. You're not doing both. Hold on. It's going to be upside down.
I think he should have just gone with both. Because
so
now it just looks peculiar.
How's that?
Yeah, you don't just have one eye makeup on, do you? You got to have them both on. Got to have matching. More miniatures for you, Mr. Blabouche.
Huskies.
Mr. Blabouche, of course, is mostly painting, laughing, and party games. Often, at least party games. Or sometimes games like that with Husky, the pink-haired crazy man. If you're after purely video games, you might be interested in Mr. Nickerin. Really must play Chrono Trigger, whichever one that is.
And the
I can
judge
never
just
really
kind
remember
of
the difference.
disappeared.
Nor do I really care. I want to play them both, I suppose. And I think remake's coming out soon.
Alter them.
And yeah, I recently spotted he's just playing Bastion now, which is a very good game. Very enjoyable is the game Bastion. Beautiful art style. Absolutely beautiful. But all of their games have been a beautiful art style. And last but not least, I think last anyway, as far as I can think.
Fuck you!
Alright, maybe I'll do another one.
Fuck you! That was bullshit. That was just every flavour of bullshit. Every flavour. The entire rainbow of bullshit. You got red, you got orange, you got brown. Oh! Postman Malice, he's going.
I don't know where the emote of the laughing Spanish guy is. I'm not sure which emote is the laughing Spanish guy. But anyway, I think that's pretty much everybody. I think, Ona, you tend to do YouTube, so I can't shout you out from YouTube. But I think that's most of the people in my immediate vicinity who do the streams. If I've forgotten anybody, and you do turn up and go, "You forgot me," I apologise. My memory is notoriously shit, so it's not that surprising, is it? Anyway, I will be back for standard Wednesdays. I suppose I could. Let's do it this way, because my name is obnoxiously long. Although having said that, I've changed my bloody... there we go. But there's also, of course, me. I thought that's correct. Another pin-up. Marvellous. Who plays a myriad of different games. Okay. Okay. Again,
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle,
kudos.
jiggle, run. A jiggle, jiggle,
Kudos
jiggle,
to the
jiggle,
animators
run.
for simply allowing this to exist,
Jiggle,
because this is something that could amuse for quite some time. Just watching him spin around in circles. I mean, they've really got a good fat jiggle there, haven't they? This is the peak of the video games. Yeah, can't get better than a fat man running around in circles. But that was, I gotta say, again,
the overall game
off.
was very entertaining. The Pigsy thing was, you know, the Pigsy one was frustrating, but still quite good. Anyway, so I will be back Wednesday, as is the standard time frame, which is 4:30 UK time for the hodgepodge of hilarity, most likely. You could have a pop-up Master Duel. As I say, maybe I'll try and figure out a sort of tournament situation, see if anybody else is interested. Maybe see if they're interesting as well. Do you have a dull deck that I hate? Probably. I hate all decks. I hate every deck in the game, I think, I fear. Because they're all better than mine. Anyway. So yeah, I'll be back on Hodgepodge Wednesday. So, cheerio.